Welcome to the Nebraska Land Bank podcast.
I'm Ty.
I'm David.
I'm Danielle, and we're your hosts. In each episode, we'll sit down with local guests to highlight the incredible people and stories that make our community unique.
From finance to sports, community events to local businesses, we've got it all covered. Join us as we dive into the heart of our community.
This is the Nebraska Land Bank podcast, always community-minded.
Every voice,
every topic,
every time.
So turn the volume up, settle in,
and let's talk Nebraska Land.
Well, friends, welcome to the Nebraska Land Bank podcast. I'm David Fudge. Ty Lucas is here. Danielle Remus is here. Kim Schroll is here. And all that's irrelevant to the fact that we have one of the two or three people in the state who probably don't need much of an introduction. He spent 25 years coaching the University of Nebraska women's volleyball team, won 4 national championships, and probably did as much for women's sports, advancing women's sports, as anybody in the last 25 years. Legendary coach John Cook is in the house. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Beautiful day here in North Platte.
Well, we appreciate you coming. So you've had kind of a wild year. Things are different for you now than they were a year ago. How has it been actually the transitioning into watching volleyball as a coach as opposed to coaching volleyball?
First of all, I really enjoy watching the team after I got through the first 30 minutes of the first match, regretting everything I decided to do.
Okay.
So once I got through that, I've really enjoyed watching the team play because I get to watch. There's no pressure. I'm not worried about winning and losing so much. So I've really enjoyed that. And I've done 7 TV matches, 5 with the Huskers. So that's been a lot of fun because I get to coach and teach to people watching. And I've gotten a ton of feedback. I've been all over the state this past week, and I've gotten a ton of feedback from people that are watching those matches and say they're learning about volleyball, things they didn't know. So that makes me feel really good because I love to teach. I've also learned that I don't say no very well, so I'm very busy. I've taken on a lot of stuff, but it's really fun. Every day is a different day, doing something different, and just like today. I'm in North Platte. I think this is the first of 3 events today, so that's not a normal day in September. We're in October now. It's not a normal day in October for me normally when I was coaching.
Yeah. Ironically, you've kind of followed your daughter's career path. So she's doing color for the Huskers and has been for a while, and you're following her on this podcast. I mean, has the transition from coaching to broadcast how's that been for you? Has it been difficult? Has it been?
It's been really easy. It's a very natural transition because normally I would prepare, let's say we're going to play Penn State. I would prepare to play Penn State. I would prepare our team. If I'm going to do the broadcast, I'm going to prepare like we're going against Penn State. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm doing Nebraska, I don't have to prepare as much because I know them so well. So for me, it's like game day. And then I go there and, I have to put on a little makeup and look good on TV. And but I just basically am coaching through the match and communicating with the person who's doing the play-by-play and communicating with the audience. And so and I've done this before. Typically when we do our spring matches, Nebraska Public Television will mic me up, and I'll talk through several games as it's going on. So this is just it's been a really easy transition.
Okay, well, Coach, I decided that I was going to leave this opportunity today, and I was going to learn something directly from you. And I've enjoyed a lot of your leadership teachings, but I want to spin this to business and business management just a little bit because you can help us. You really can. I was at a wedding this last weekend, one of my coworkers in Kearney, and it caught me because the people at the wedding many of them were my coworkers and their families, dancing together, sitting together. And when we make a hiring decision, we don't affect just our customers, our shareholders, but we affect our coworkers, our team. How did you make those recruitment decisions and hiring decisions when it comes down to, am I going to offer the scholarship or am I going to hire this coach? How do you make that decision?
Well, we could do our podcast on that pretty easily. I'll try to simplify it. The first thing is and again, I don't know in your world if this happens, but we would start tracking these kids in 7th and 8th grade. So we would be watching them in club volleyball. We'd watch their body language, how do they interact with their teammates, how they interact with their coaches, and because we weren't allowed to communicate with them. And the first time we can communicate with them is when they're going into their June 15th of their junior year. So that starts the meet and greet part. Typically they come to campus, and so the things that we would look for is One, do they have eye contact? So we're in a room like this, we're all sitting, the parents are there. Do they look you in the eye? And one of the great things I love about being out in western Nebraska with the cowgirls, cowboys, the kids in the agricultural part of the state, they always shake your hand, they look you in the eye. I cannot tell you and that's not true for a lot of the recruits that come in. Second thing is, how do they interact with their parents? How do they treat their parents? Are they respectful? And then from there, how do they interact with our team? And we would use our team as a great guide to give us feedback. This person will fit, this person does not fit. And because they'll get them away from us and spend time with them. So if you formed a committee, to go out, go to the dorms, hang out, go get ice cream, whatever, how do they interact? And the older players are great judges of who would fit in Nebraska. So those are, in a nutshell right there, that's kind of what we base those decisions on. And then the biggest thing would be gut feeling. Is this somebody I want to coach for 4 years, maybe 5 years, and worry about for every day of the year for that time period? And is this somebody I think that wants to be great? And again, that's kind of a gut feeling, because you really don't know when they're going into their junior year. You really don't know that part yet. You're not going to find out till they're in the battle and they're competing and they're going through all the adjustments to college. But we're only going to offer somebody that we have hope with that, or we think we can work with and we want to work with.
Just as a quick follow-up on that, if somebody feels like, okay, I'm an okay leader, or maybe I'm even a good leader, but I want to be a great leader, talk to us about, I know good to great's a very coined phrase, but your 3 questions I love and think about. But talk to us about.
Where did you hear the 3 questions?
In your book.
In your book. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
wow.
And Kim has talked to me about them for a long time, and there's something that we've all reflected on a lot. So you've had that impact on us already.
Yeah.
But please feel welcome to share those too. But talk to us about how you go from becoming a good leader to being a great leader.
So the principles and I'm going to talk about this later today at this event, to make it really simple. The first thing is, to be a great leader, you have to build relationships. And I go through my coaching career, 25 years, the changes I had to make, because I used to not care about relationships. I was the coach, they're the players. They do what I tell them to do. It doesn't matter off the court. It's just, do they work hard? Do they perform? Do they get it done? Are they a good student? And as long as they do that, leave them alone. I realized in about 2011-12, I had to make a change, because and again, I'm going to blame it all on social media and phones. And what's happened is these kids are going, in COVID, they're going to school on computers. They're on their phones all day. They're trying to get as many followers as they can because they can make money on it. So where's the relationship? It's with a phone, social media, or with a professor on their computer. So they don't really know how to relate, face to face, or what we call P2P, person to person. So we have to work with them on doing that. And I realized I had to lead the charge. I had to start building relationships. So what did I do? I started spending time with them. In the natural ways we would spend time would be at the training table. I would purposely go over there when I knew somebody was, let's say you're having dinner over there. I would go over there and grab my tray and sit down with you and talk. And sometimes those conversations would go for hours, because everything was, at the end of the day, they didn't have class or anything, and so there was no excuse not to sit down and have a conversation. We wore out the chairs in the Mill coffee shop next to Devaney. Mm-hmm. In the mornings, that's where we had a lot of our player meetings. Hey, we're going to go get coffee. Because when they come into Devaney, or if I call them in the office, what is the first thing they think? I'm in trouble. That's the first thing they think. Hey, Merritt, let's go get coffee tomorrow. I'll meet you there at 9 o'clock. And then it's relaxing. It's not pressure. They come in, just chilled out, basically. And then the other thing I would do, let's say we go on a plane trip. We charter to all the places. So let's say we go to Wisconsin. So on the way there or the way back, I'd go back and sit with somebody on the plane and just talk to them on the plane flight. We used to do it on the buses. The buses were great. I miss the old bus days, because you're in the bus a lot longer, And it was so easy to sit down and talk to those guys. And I'd go back and do silly games with them, and because they're just trying to kill time. But that's another way. So I was always look for opportunities to build relationships. So that's number one. Number two is you have to be willing to pull people along to where they need to go. So to pull them along, to win, to be great, to work hard. And so I call it, you have to be the engineer of belief. Okay, so I'm the one that has to get these guys to believe. And belief doesn't really cost anything. It's free. So I had to set that tone. And then again, we don't have time in this podcast. I have all these different ways we would do that to create belief with our team and with the players. And just try to get them to dream big. But those are two big things that I think are really, really important that we have to always remember. We could talk leadership all day, but you just got to put in the effort and build the relationships. And I know in the corporate world, because I've heard this over and over and over, you've got this layer of leadership, then you got those subordinates under them, then you got the workers down here, and there's all these disconnects all the way up. Everybody has to feel like they're part of the team. And that's, again, I'll use a phrase we use, we over me, okay? You guys print we over me on your T-shirts. Everybody walking around here like you got the red shirts on today. We over me. It's about we and not one person. And again, trying to build that mindset that we're a team. And it's getting harder and harder because, again, these kids are living in their own little social media worlds, and it's all about me, how much money I can make, how many followers I can get. So anyway, there's a shortened version of leadership and some key nuggets that you can take off a podcast.
Thank you,
incredible.
Coach. So those
That's
are the
incredible.
takeaways I was hoping to get today. So thank you.
Yeah, we love your book, and I checked my Amazon account, and I purchased 50 copies and shared it with others. 50 copies.
Wow.
I love it that much.
Yeah, I don't make a penny off those, so so you know. So but I'm glad you're sharing them. I did that as a work of love and trying to, inspire people.
Well, definitely you have. And you talk a lot in your books about mentors that you had in your life, and that they weren't just other coaches. They came from other walks of life. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, the best, simplest way I can explain it is I call it team within a team. And so I figured out I didn't have all the answers. And so I wanted to surround myself with people that would help me be the best version of myself. And I want them to be honest with me. And I gave them full permission. You can have at it with me. And it's varied over the years depending on who was there, who left. And so it varies from, I got my PAWS license. So there were some pilots that I used. Mm-hmm. There was my wife, and Lindsay Peterson, who was my director of ops for almost 20 years. I had a sports psychiatrist that I still use. Now that I've gotten the horses in the cowboy world, I've got some cowboys. I mean, cowboys have got great wisdom, and they've got some great things, and I have them watch me and give me feedback, and I try to learn from those guys and people that train horses. They're very intuitive of feelings and what's going on, and because they're working with a horse every day. They got to figure out what that horse is feeling. Mm-hmm. So my brother is another one. He's not a volleyball guy. He's in the golf business, but he knows me really well. And so those are some of the examples. But Coach Osborne was one of my guys when he was our AD, and he was around a lot. I mean, I would meet with him like every couple weeks and just, Coach, what are you seeing? What can I do? Ask him questions. How do I deal with this? Because that guy's got a lot of wisdom and experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, it always impressed me that you made those adjustments along the way, and that you were open to that feedback, and that you just open to changing. And I think that's why you had so much success. And so it's been a joy to watch your career. And I assume you're now a mentor for others too.
I'm available anytime anybody wants mentorship. I'm not sure they always want it, but you made a great point. I realize, and I've seen so many people burn out or fade out or just get negative about coaching or their jobs because they're not willing to make change. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age, it's changing so fast with technology and social media and everything going on. I mean, the world is just changing. You have to be ready to change. And so we had a saying at Nebraska volleyball in my last few years is, when anything would go wrong or we're struggling, hey, the great ones adjust. The great ones adjust. You want to be great, you got to adjust. Mm-hmm. And we would tell our players that when we had to change plans or things changed or, the great ones adjust.
Mm-hmm. Coach, could you talk about the transition to Supernovas then? You're adjusting.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But they convinced me that I could make a difference in trying to help pro volleyball get going in this country. And I want to do that because for so many years, all these players have to go overseas. And most of the time, over half of them quit because it's miserable. Mm-hmm. It's not Nebraska volleyball. So they don't speak the languages. They have to drive stick shift cars, which they can't do. I laugh about that one. Seriously, because they'll give them a car and it's a stick shift over in Europe, and they can't. They don't know how to do it. But anyway, we can create this pro league, and the Supernovas are definitely setting the trend right now. Yeah. They're leading the way. They're showing that it can be done. And so I took on a role as a general manager where my job is to put together a team. So I drafted a team, put together a staff, a performance team, team within a team.
Yeah,
the performance team is essentially what you asked me. They're there to help take those players be the best they can be and oversee all that and then make sure everybody's getting what they need and then helping to solve problems when they come up. So that's kind of what my role is.
Well, I'm excited that we can watch volleyball in the spring and in the fall.
Yeah, it's exciting. This team is going to be really fun to watch. And, the first thing I did was hire a great coach. He's won a gold medal. He's been coached everywhere, international and college. And so we're really, really lucky to get him. I just lucked out. So the timing and everything. So it's really good. And so that's where it all starts.
We're excited for the season.
Would you mind doing some rapid fire questions with me?
Go ahead, Lauren.
That's another podcast we love to listen to.
Have you heard her do that?
No.
Oh, she does.
She does that too
on our podcast.
That's so
yeah,
we
it's
used
a
to do a
fun.
podcast. We don't anymore.
Yay. Okay.
But that was her thing. We're going to go rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Okay. So first thing that comes to mind, no overthinking. First app that you open in the morning.
God, that's probably my text. Text.
Messaging. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your coffee order?
Right now, it's espresso.
Got it. Most used emoji on your phone?
Thumbs up.
Perfect. What's the most recent show you've watched on TV?
I have not watched a show on TV. Listen, I live in the mountains. We go from sunrise to sunset, and then when I'm traveling, I tell you what, Husker football.
Perfect.
That Husker football. That's what I'm going to watch. Husker football, and then Husker volleyball. Are those TV shows?
They are in Nebraska.
I don't watch
TV.
They are in Nebraska.
They are in my house.
And there was a pretty good documentary called The Last Ride that was released in August, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we watched. We got a preview of that in the Lead Center on campus. They invited the top donors and stuff in, and they did an amazing job. Nebraska Public Media did an amazing job.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It was very.
I think they're going to win an Emmy Award for it.
There you go.
Okay, 2 more questions. Most unexpected place you've ever been recognized in public?
I would have to probably say Beijing, China.
Wow. Interesting. I wish we had time to hear that story. And last question, best piece of advice you've ever given?
That I've ever given? Probably dream big.
Dream big.
Dream
Love
big.
it.
Just
That's the theme of your book.
Can I follow with one final question that I've been anxious? Coach Cook, are you someone that gives trust and then people either build on it or erode it, or do they have to earn it with you?
That's a really good question. I always err on I'm going to trust these guys. And then I know at some point they're going to mess it up just because they're college kids. So it's going to happen. But I'm always erring on the side of I trust you, I believe in you, I know you're going to do the right thing. And even with like Harper Murray still, I mean, I still trust Harper. But there were some days I'm like, wow, was that worth it? And, I think you have to believe in those kids and you have to believe in the people you're working with. My mantra the last few years has been to coach with love. And I went to that because, again, I saw a lot of coaches getting bitter with this generation and how things were going, and I'm like, okay, I felt myself going down that path, and I said, okay, I got to coach with love. So if I come in every day, I'm coaching you guys. Here's my team. I'm coaching you guys with love today, belief, And we're going to start the day like that. And again, that would be a lot of trust right there. And then if we got to adjust, we adjust. But I came in with the mindset of that. And I tell you what, I had the most fun coaching the last 2 years before I retired of my career. I had a blast coaching. That's one of the reasons I decided to retire when I did, because I felt, one, I was at the top of my game, and two, I was having a blast. And I can't say that for every year I coached. And so I wanted to go out with that feeling. And then the third reason, just since you guys are interested in Nebraska volleyball, is I wanted to make sure I could leave Danny with a great team. And if you watch them play, they're a great team. And because I wanted her to have the best shot to get off to a great start, and also a team that I knew wouldn't jump in the portal if I retired. And that's what's happened to a lot of programs. The coach retires or moves, and everybody jumps in the portal, and nobody went in the portal.
Yeah, that's a great testament to what you built over there.
Yeah.
So,
well, I knew these kids, and I just knew how tight they were, and I had a lot of confidence that they were going to stay.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you making some time for us. We know you squeezed this in. Just for context, we're recording this just ahead of your Chamber of Commerce presentation tonight, so we want to wrap this up and get you over there. But in 30 seconds or less, what's next for John Cook?
I mean, going to the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, longer term.
Then North 40.
Yeah, then to North 40.
North 40.
But after down the road, 6-12 months down the road, what's next for you?
Well, be working with the Supernovas, and I'm going to do that. I moved to Wyoming. I'm going to do that in Wyoming. I really like TV, but I've only got 3 matches left because I have commitments I made with my family. So just to give you an example, this is my new life. So Lauren lives in Victor, Idaho. Halloween's a big night. She has a 5-year-old, Madden. Well, she wants to go trick-or-treat with her. Well, the Huskers during that night are playing Wisconsin, so I'm going to fill in for her on radio.
Oh, cool.
So she told, I mean, this is in the summer, she made me commit to that. So she goes, do not commit to anything on Halloween. And then my son's actually moving down to Arizona, so I'm going to help him move. So I'm doing things that I've never been able to do because with coaching, with my family, my kids. And my wife and I went to opening day at Yellowstone Park. It was, we spent 3 days up there. We got snowed on, rained on, saw wolves, bears, grizzlies. It was awesome. So all the things that I'm doing, a lot of those things, but I'm still keeping my hand in volleyball a little bit. I'm not doing it, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, cool. Well, congratulations. We're grateful that you stopped by, and we wish you well, and appreciate you stopping in North Platte.
Okay, thanks. Honor to be here.
One a quick tip of the cap, too, to Tyler Carlson from Mid-America Speakers Bureau for helping us arrange this and arrange the Chamber program tonight. So, again, those going to the program, you're in for a treat. And if you didn't get to the program, you get a shot to listen to a little bit here on the Nebraska Land Bank Podcast.